Hey guys, what's up? I'm having way too much fun when it comes to ranking things. Thank you. This is Millennial Nerds with Scott Cooper. Welcome to the channel. Like, share, subscribe, whatever. I just want to let you guys know we're at 200 subscribers exactly. Thank you so much. I'm really happy to really be providing more consistent updates with the channel. Really excited to see where we go. The goal this year is to get 1,000 subscribers. If we can get 1,000 subs, I never would think that would be possible. I didn't think 100 was possible. I didn't think 200 was possible. So let's extend that goal out to 1,000. Let's see where we get and go from there. So today we are going to be ranking all the starter Pokemon right now for all the way up until. Well, actually, we need to get a better list, don't we? Because this doesn't have everybody that we need. It looks like, or does it? I don't know. Everybody's just kind of like out of sorts here. Is our newer ones here? I'm not seeing them. I'm not seeing my guys. I do like those. I do like the new ones though. Updated the Pokemon starter with starter and Violet. All right. Okay, perfect. This is actually a lot easier to deal with. All right, awesome. So, yeah, we'll just get into ranking. Let's see how we do. See what your thoughts and opinions are, and see if you agree or disagree or anything like that. Do we do Gen 1 order, or do I do who I think is D, C, B, and A, and S? I think I do D, C, B, A, and S. I think I do them in that order. So, out of all the starters, which starters do I think belong in the D category? Well, being that I've played every generation multiple times, and there are some that just mesh well with me and some that don't. Sobble is D. Don't care. I know that he's adorable, but evolution line, oh boy. Not a fan of that at all. I don't think it looks good, especially after he evolves. I think that there was a lot to really like about his little form right here, but I just think that a lot to be desired. Score Bunny. I'm going to throw him in there too. Very unimpressed. I think if you line him up with all the other fire starters, I think he's just not great. I don't think there's a lot there. I'm going to throw Primarina in there too. Do I have an adversity to water types? You'll see. Maybe not. I just don't think Primarina's great. Populo, I mean, he's cute and everything like that, but versus other water types or other Pokemon in its generation, a lot to be desired. Let me see here. That might be. Oh, you know what? Chestnut in there too. Why? You know why? Because honestly, forgettable. I think very, very forgettable. And this is the thing that I challenge you guys, right? So most of you know who he evolves into, or most of you know who they evolve into. If their evolve form is not something that's at least people care about, then it's just not. It's not meant to be. I think, like I said, out of those generations, there's other Pokemon that are more memorable, even other starters that are a lot more memorable when it comes to that. So if I hurt anybody's feelings, I apologize, but, make your own list. Show me what you think. C category. We may throw some people back into DL on the yet. We'll move on to C category. I'm going to throw Tepig in C category. I do like... Emboar and things like that. I do think it's a cool looking Pokemon, and I do think that it holds up, in battles and things like that throughout the game. And I'm not talking about like competitive or anything like that, because most starters aren't really viable in the whole competitive thing. I'm just talking about like taking it through the game, not just so much as like the challenge it puts forth, but like how much impact it has, and then of course, just the overall coolness factor, I guess. You want to throw into there, I guess. Turtwig, I'm going to put him in the same boat. I like Turtwig a lot, but he's really, really heavy copy of Bulbasaur, and he's like the great value version of Bulbasaur. Like, turtle design, like, hey, let's make Squirtle and Bulbasaur into a Pokemon. This is what you get, right? So, final evolution. Its coolest moment was in the Pokemon movie, I think. I was like, oh, that's kind of a neat thing. Finnegan, I'm going to throw him there too. Delphox is okay. It's kind of cool, but like I said, I just think, it's just kind of forgettable. It's not anything that I think is too special. At the end of the day, I think there's a lot more to appreciate there. then maybe it shows, but at the end of the day, I'm not too impressed. Um, let's see. You know what? Let's move up to B tier now. B tier, I'm going to throw up these two real quick. I do think I like these guys a lot more than I expected. I do think they're kind of adorable, and I was kind of surprised about how their final evolutions looked. Overall, like I was pleasantly surprised. I think this is one of the better generations of starters, where at least all of them, in my opinion, felt kind of viable, or at least the look was kind of cool. It was kind of there. Where you don't like comparative to other Pokemon, it looked pretty decent. The typings were cool. I think they kind of changed things up. So like I definitely appreciate the effort, and like I said, I like the overall look of them. I do think that is very important. Let's go ahead and throw Piplup in here. I'm a huge fan of Empoleon. I think honestly, when it comes down to these starters here, these guys will all go into B. I love them all. Diamond and Pearl. I really really did. I thought they were all really really good. I used Snivy a lot, but I also used Chimchar. I think was the first one I really started off with Infernape and things like that. I do think that they're a very memorable cast. They have a lot to offer, a lot of good stuff. I'm gonna throw Litten in here too. I do like, oh my gosh, why am I blanking on his name? He was in Super Smash Brothers and everything too. His finally evolved form. Pretty cool when it came to that. Is it in Cineroar? Am I thinking of Incineroar? Maybe it's in Cineroar. I'm pretty sure. Infernape and Cineroar. I think it's in Cineroar. Overall, like the design, championship belt's pretty cool, but we've kind of seen that design in Machamp before too, though. So I'm like not like wanting to put him too high, but I do think it's a really cool design, and out of the that particular generation, I think that he really really overshadows Populo, and it was a really kind of hard decision between him and the other version, but looking at finally evolved forms wasn't too crazy for me. And then I'll probably put Grookey here too. I love Grookey. I think his entire chain is really cool. But once, like I said, memorable, right? I don't think his final form is that memorable. I don't think any of the ones from Sword and Shield are memorable at the end of the day. I just don't think they are. I think he went the furthest. But I think once you get past like a certain point, you're probably going to trade your starter out for another one. A lot of these you keep your starter, at least throughout the main game. I know that some of these, and that's the other thing I always say too, is like, I will make a bad Pokemon work. I know most of you guys will too. But when it comes down to just them being uninteresting, either move pool or anything along those lines, it's just, you know what I mean? It's just, it is what it is on that. Now I think we're getting into the nitty gritty. We're getting in the S tier now, S and A tier. So let's do S and A, and we're gonna really go through order of them. Let's start with let's start from the back of the front. Fire Crocodile Man. I love this. I love this little guy. I kept him throughout the whole game, going through Violet, and I really really enjoyed playing with him. I think his typing was interesting too, but he kind of got me out of some good situations, especially when I was kind of like involving myself into things I probably shouldn't have been because it's more open world, which I love, by the way. So I was like, oh, I guess I shouldn't be here, but he kind of got me out of some tight situations with his typing. And like I said, I was kind of impressed, and I love the look of him too. Skeletor just really really cool looking, and then his little main attack, where it's like a ghost attack and type deal. I just think that's really cool. I love the design of him. Definitely a fan of that one. I was pleasantly surprised. Obviously, since I want to say the last generation to this one was the one that was kind of like, oh, okay, that they actually put some effort into that one. I really like him a lot. So yeah, I definitely feel, and like I said, I think the little cat Spaghetti. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. Like some of them they lose me on. But yeah. I definitely feel like he's good. First S tier is going to go to Rowlet. I absolutely love Decidueye. I absolutely one of my favorite Pokemon when it comes to designing. I loved playing that deck as well. It was a lot of fun. It's a fun Pokemon. The design is great. Its typing is so interesting. It's so cool, and I just think it really elevated the games. I think he was a great Pokemon to have. Are there better? Absolutely, there's always better. There's always better Pokemon on this list than what's here. But when it comes down to coolness factor, he's got it. He's so cool. He's right up there with my other favorite for S tier, Greninja. Boy, is Greninja easily Greninja's my favorite water type, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Especially when it comes to starters and things like that. Come on, it's Greninja. Like, especially playing that deck, the Greninja deck. I played that at a regional tournament, won a couple games with it. It was so fun to play as, and then in the game, just like all of his abilities. And then, of course, throw some love in the Super Smash Brothers. These humanoid type Pokemon really, really are cool when they design them properly. So I do think it's an important factor. Samurott, I like Samurott. I think design's cool, form factor's cool. He looks powerful. He looks destructive. I really like the look of him. He's not S tier or anything like that because, like I said, I think at the end of the day, comparing him to a Greninja, this Froakie here obviously, but comparing him to Greninja, things like that. I just don't think Oshawott really holds a huge amount of over those guys, but could be wrong. Mudkip and the Marshtomp. I mean, yeah, I think this is the best place for him. Marshtomp's cool typing as well. But, like I said, I think at the end of the day, just not quite enough to get into that S rank, in my opinion. But yeah, I think there's room to be had there. And actually, let's go ahead and Torchic and Trico are going to go in there too. Blaziken, I'm almost tempted to put him into S tier. Almost tempted. But I'm just not 100% sure. So I just really, really am not 100% sold on that. But I think at the end of the day, I think it's okay. It's one of those things. Totodile for Alligator. This one's gonna hurt. A rank as well. I love for Alligator. I really do. But at the same time, I just think, comparative to other water types, I really don't want to give too much love to certain things in S rank. I think for Alligator holds its own for a while, but it's one of those ones that at the end, and just like most of these, I do feel like they're replaceable. I think most of the time starter's replaceable anyway, but there's a few that I just think you're just going to try to make work on your team. And these are those. Cyndaquil. Oh, this one hurts me too. Oh man. I can't do S. I just can't do it. I love Typhlosion. I love Cyndaquil. I love it, but I just feel like it just comes up just a little bit short when it comes down to the delivery and everything along those lines. I just feel like, it's just, like I said, it comes back to replacing, moving around and things like that. What can you do? I feel like at the end of the day, it's one of those ones where it'll make it to the league, but after I get into Kanto on gold and silver, I'll replace them. That's just how it is. Meganium, Bayleaf, Chikorita line. Yep, it's gonna go here too. So it's very tough, but I do think once again, like I said, I think it's replaceability, factor in the game that they have. If you're playing it now, are you building a team around them? Obviously in the game, I think that there's the way they set it up. Your first fight is against Falconer, so obviously Chikorita's at a bit of a disadvantage. But it's not like you can't just go catch him a Reap to deal with Falconer. So there's always those, factors around, and then you have the bug where you're okay with the bug. Rock type, you're kind of okay, with the Miltank. Everybody's gonna have a little problems with the Miltank, for the most part. And then we really don't have too much trouble, I don't think, throughout the game. I think the Miltank's the biggest hurdle there, and your starter will help you out a lot. But you're gonna find other Pokemon that you're gonna use. You know, like I said, and I think most of the time you're probably going to change those guys out. If not, are you really going to build a team around them? And that's really any of these guys. All right, now we have the starters for Generation 1, and this one is going to upset some people. Probably. Squirtle, you're going to go A tier. Love you, Squirtle. I really do. I think you're cute, adorable. Blastoise is awesome. But once again, are you going to build a team around him? You know, are you going to build a team that's going to be sufficient and it's going to suffice throughout the game? Yes, your fight with Brock is going to be very easy. Your fight with Misty is going to be, okay. It's not going to be great, but then you have those two back-to-back killers against Surge and Erica, where you're really going to have to kind of like, okay, I got to really find something else that works here. Hopefully by then, you've caught, I caught a few things that are going to help you. Go catch a Dugtrio, deal with, Surge. Go catch a Abra, get a Kadabra to help deal with Erica. I mean, there's always stuff you can do, but like I said, once you get to a certain point, yes, he makes your last two fights really easy. Your last two gym fights really easy. But how does he stack up against the Elite Four? There's a couple battles in there where he's really good. And yeah, Blastoise, all for intents and purposes, great Pokemon, really enjoy it. But if I imagine it like this, if in-game finalization for Kanto, I can't compare that to the same thing as in-game for other games. I would replace him as soon as I would beat the Pokemon League with something else. I'm not building my team around him. He is not a focal point for me, unfortunately. Charmander. B tier. I can't, it's what I've been saying. It's building a team around it, and Charmander is absolutely the worst Pokemon to choose in any of the Kanto games. He is. I will choose him every time because, yes, absolutely, I love Charizard. But from a actual objective standpoint, he is not the one to he's not the one to choose. His shiny form is cool. There's a coolness and form factor will bring him all the way up to a B. I think that Charizard is an overhyped Pokemon. I think he's overrated. And I just think it's one of those things where it's a coolness factor. I mean, a shiny Charizard, he looks awesome. But Charizard is a glass cannon. And look at the weaknesses he has. He is a fire flying type. He's not even a dragon type, which thank God he's not a dragon type. But he's a fire and flying type who has some dragon moves. He's always a lot harder to beat when he's on somebody else's team or he's like a boss in a game. The terrestrialized versions of him with the dragon type moves on Scarlet and Violet, he was kind of a pain to deal with. And once you get him, you're just like, oh, okay, well, whatever. Having him is cool. It's always cool. But is he a staple in my party? He is not. He is not a staple. But ladies and gentlemen, you know who is a staple in my party? Bulbasaur. That's right. Bulbasaur is a statement. Or he's absolute, just, I love Bulbasaur. And I'm replaying Let's Go right now, and he just makes the game incredibly easy. It is like easy mode. It is not fair. He is S tier though, and I don't care what you say. He makes all these gym battles up until Blaine absolutely just hilarious in my opinion. So maybe even Sabrina's a little bit of a challenge for him, but his move pool is fantastic. And just, I mean, if you play red, blue, yellow, Let's Go, fire red, whatever you're playing, Bulbasaur is easy. He's the easy mode. He makes Brock look hilarious. Misty look hilarious. Not very effective stuff against Surge and Erica, so he kind of balances those two out. Then you go to Koga, and he kind of balances those out because he's also a poison type as well. And then you go to Sabrina, and you're like, okay, yeah, Sabrina can screw me up real quick, but his special defense you can raise it so high that Psychic only does maybe so much damage. You Mega Drain your health back. Boom, you're good to go. So, and that's even if, and I'm sure you have something else to deal with Sabrina by that point. But even if, I would still trust, Venusaur to get a lot of the job done for you there. Because Sabrina's Pokemon are also glass cannons. Yeah, you'll have absolutely immense trouble with Blaine. But I would hope to God by the time you get to your seventh battle, your seventh gym battle, you have a water Pokemon that can deal with them. I mean, you are encountering them all on the way there to deal with. Or just, let's go throw your Pikachu at him with a Surf. Like, come on. Pikachu's not in here, by the way, for a starter type, which I do think Pikachu needs to be, because I think Pikachu also makes a lot of things easy. And Let's Go, it's ridiculous. Like, you can't even rate that thing. That thing just learns all these moves, and Let's Go is just so easy. In Yellow, I do think that there's a learning curve there, but I do think he's replaceable. So, like, each version he's a little bit different in. But yeah, that's the rankings for you there. If you disagree, I'm sure you will. But yeah, I just think at the end of the day, I think and I like to, maybe I contradict myself sometimes, cool factor, performance factor, things like that. Like, I just think at the end of the day, you have to look at it like, is this a Pokemon that I'm going to keep in my party forever? And if it's not, like, the only reason why you keep Charizard in your party is because it's Charizard. You don't keep it because he's able to battle. Like, the same thing with a shiny Charizard. It's the same thing. So, all right, guys. I hope you appreciate it. This is a lot of fun. Let me know what you think. I love Pokemon. I don't know about you guys. This is a lot of fun. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Bye.